come in, folks. Hit that thumbs up, please. Yes, we're back. Come on in, folks. Good morning, Rosemary. Are we still buffering? Yes, it looks like, okay. Well, one of my phones is buffering. Okay, it's a little fuzzy. Sorry, folks, but at least we can still. All right, I'm gonna do something real quick, folks. Hopefully, it makes it better. So, all right. Well. Is it any better, folks? If so, hit a 1, please. All right. Okay, we're back, I think. I hope so. Because we're, as you can see, we're getting out of the mountain area. Is it still buffering? Okay. Good morning, Elizabeth Holiday. And we're back, yes. So, even if it starts buffering, folks, I'm going to just let it go until it catches back up. Because they only give us so many times in a day that they will send out notifications. We could do 1,000 videos a day, but they will only send out 3 notifications. Morning, Ross. Morning, Shay. Good morning, everybody. And come on in. And anyways, we were talking about, and then I'm doing good. Good morning, Edel. So we all know that they were reported on the 21st of December, but by the looks of it, that doesn't look like when they actually disappeared. We know that they had the fact down that it was reported on the 21st, and 5 warrants were actually served on the home on Aspen. And then a total, we know, over 20 warrants of different type were served. Most likely all search warrants, because we have not heard of any arrest warrants. There was multiple, I mean, dozens and dozens of search parties that happened from Cal City all the way out to Bakersfield. There were, I mean, there were so many tips that were called in and given to law enforcement There were thousands and thousands of tips called in to law enforcement in regards to the case. I don't know how many people got emails such as we did in regards to the case, but we received a lot of emails, a lot of text messages, a lot of phone calls, and people were running everywhere. People were just, running different directions, trying to figure out what actually happened to these boys when it happened. At the least, I know there's a lot of people out there saying that everybody's looking just at the adoptive parents. At the least, they should be looking at neglect charges because they put them outside in very cold weather. If it was too cold in the house that they had to start a fire, it was definitely too cold outside. Well, nobody has been arrested directly in regards to the case. I don't know where you're getting that people were arrested, but in regards to the missing toddlers, directly to the case, no. We know people were detained, which is not arrested. There was a few people that it stated were detained, but that is over the lifespan of this case. We're not talking just the last week or anything like that. We're talking the full lifespan of this case. Well, I don't know when did SP Nuggets get this information that there were actual arrests in regards to this case? Because as far as we know, oh, she said it yesterday. Well, I don't know who's been arrested. All we know is that there were people detained. And that was actually confirmed through law enforcement. But as far as arrests, no. I'm pretty sure that if somebody was actually arrested in regards to the missing toddlers, there would have been a press release, because that would be breaking news. That's what breaking maybe somebody was arrested, but I would think that it will be all over the news as breaking news. So, I mean, I would be thinking they would be saying, uh-oh. But if somebody does come up with the facts, please show me somewhere where it states that arrests were made in regards to it. The only time that we were ever told somebody was arrested, and it was stated he was arrested, but he wasn't arrested. He was actually cited and released. I'm not even gonna say names, because I try and keep all the drama out. But it was a YouTuber, and nobody needs to bring up the name. Don't even do it. But he was detained and cited and released, is what was stated. And hey, thank you for that, Nana Anna, but I'm going to tell you, I have reported stuff that I was told by law enforcement, and I actually had to retract it after they did. As I tell people, I want facts, and I only want facts. And I mean, that's what makes it hard to come back in and say, hey, we don't have any new information in regards to it, but we are not going to allow this to stay dormant. I'm not going to say it's going to go cold, because I don't think it'll go cold. I really don't. I think there's a lot of interest in this case now. Just like there's a lot of interest into certain people involved with the case now. But I understand why law enforcement is not giving out all the details. It's the smartest thing in the world. Okay, folks. Now, I gotta show you this real quick. Okay, here. Can you see that mountain there, folks? That mountain has multiple names. See that mountain? That one has multiple names. That mountain right there goes as Titty Peak, Titty Mountain. What else was it? Nipple Mountain, Nipple Peak. People have named it, but it actually, you can actually check in. I'm not going to try and check in because we're driving right now. But it does have like it's Titty Peak or something like that, and Nipple Mountain. But this case, and the people involved in it has drugged so many of us through the ringer. Alright, sorry about that, folks. We're back again. But it has really torn. It's had families fighting. It's had YouTubers fighting. There's a lot of stress in regards to this case. And I do believe, personally, with the way this case has been, I do believe, personally, my personal thoughts, that somebody or some entity or something of that sort has been trying to push a lot of us the wrong direction. And that's sad, because that to me is covering up, somebody trying to cover up a case of 2 missing toddlers. I'll be glad when all the drama's gone. You know, I'm sure it'll be worked out. You know, I try to stay drama free. I truly do. That's why, as you notice, we allow everybody on our channel. We just, you know, ask that certain things don't be discussed, to keep it as drama free as possible. But on the other hand, enough with that. It's all about the boys. And we all, every one of us, needs to start over from scratch. Need to start over from scratch. That right there, justice for the boys. You know, I wish to make this case to where there's actually a good possibility of solving it. I wish there was a factory reset, but there's not. If there was a factory reset and everybody were able to just hit that button, or if one person could hit the button and do a factory reset, I believe without all the trauma, maybe this case might have actually been solved. And if not solved, at least we would know more. Oh, Jay, we know what you meant. disclosure on the case. Let it be closed. You know, I don't even like thinking it, but I just feel they did something horrible to those boys, and I feel it happened before the date that they were recorded. And I pray that what actually happened and when it actually happened is discovered, and somebody is brought to justice for this. All this side talk and everything did take away from the investigation into the boys. But I gotta say, you know, it brought a lot of information out also. Some of the information is not information that people want to hear. That's 100% true. But it did happen, you know, all the drama happened. I'm sure it's not going to ever stop completely. I've been invited to speak on a few different YouTube channels, platforms, but I try to stay away from a lot of channels, and I'll explain why. I'll explain why, and I hope everybody understands why. But the reason I try and stay away from a lot of platforms is because if you're on a live platform and somebody brings something up that is like in a bad way, negative in regards to the case, or very false information, and it puts you in the spotlight of that statement also. And I don't want to be in that spotlight, folks. I want to stay out of the spotlight. I would rather have my small channel and speak what I'm going to speak instead of having a huge platform. You know? I would rather have a smaller platform and have the truth out. As much of the truth as possible with as little drama as possible. As a matter of fact, this one's for SP News. I told you I was going to reverse the strike. And I see you put in to appeal it. I'm not going to fight the appeal. They can reverse it. But I'm going to ask you at this time, publicly, do not use my footage if you are going to use it in a negative manner and allow people to bash on myself, my wife, or my business. But I am not going to dispute, because I told you I would reverse it. But I'm asking you publicly, do not use any of A.P. Nisker's footage. You know, when I came into this case, I didn't expect to be working on this case as long as we are. Most cases, we cover them, we get it out there, and we'll do follow-ups. But this case needed attention. It wasn't receiving the attention it should have been receiving. So we stayed on. And it still needs attention. It needs the networks. It needs the major networks. But as I've said in multiple instances, that family, the adoptive parents, their families are very tight-knit families. They are very, very tight-knit families. Because if you think about it, there's a $125,000 reward out there. And somebody knows what happened. Somebody knows when it happened. They know where it happened. And nobody has came forward. Law enforcement is definitely in charge of the investigation. But YouTubers, media, social media can keep a lot of heat on the case. And that's a fact. Law enforcement is definitely always in charge. You know, I will never try and step on their toes in regards to cases because it is their job. That's their job. That's what they get paid to do. And trust me, I know a lot of law enforcement individuals around the world. Go on my friends on Facebook and you're going to see probably maybe over a third of my friends out of over 3,000 people are going to be law enforcement of some type or first responders. Good morning, Mary. Oh, we got two Marys. Mary H. and Mary Martins. Good morning to y'all. Good morning, Extreme. You know, every day to see what's going to happen. And I watch every day. I watch the press releases that come out from Bakersfield Police Department. Well, see, extreme, that is your thoughts. But I also believe stuff was brought to light about this case that would have never been brought to light. I don't even know where we're at right now. I just know we're on the 10 freeway headed towards the New Mexico border. Oh, I believe 100% they are doing their job. Yes, we are on our way back to California. But I also do believe that there's certain law enforcement individuals that should not have been involved with this case. And that's my personal opinion. I think it was an amazing thing when Bakersfield Police Department took over the investigation. They have way more resources to work this case. Cal City, because of the area that's covered from Cal City to Bakersfield, Cal City Police Department doesn't have enough law enforcement officers to handle the case because of the magnitude of this case and the size of the area that it covers. And I know, because it was stated that they didn't have concrete evidence, which usually if somebody says they don't have concrete evidence, that means at least they have circumstantial evidence. It may not be concrete, but they have some evidence that they're looking at. Oh, I believe this case will be solved. Oh no, I don't believe there's law enforcement entities that want cases to go cold. But I'm not saying in this case, but there has been cases where law enforcement officers, personnel, have wanted a case to go cold because it would link back to them or somebody they know or family members or something of that sort. You know, just because they're law enforcement does not mean that, you know, they don't have wrongdoing. They do. Just like every business does. And off-duty beauty, trust me, I stand behind law enforcement 100%, you know, but if a law enforcement officer is guilty of something, then they need to be held responsible also. Hoping at some point, with all the pressure that's being put out there, I mean, and even though some of it is very controversial with the drama that's going around, even the controversy, believe it or not, keeps it in the light. That, you know, sometimes is a bad thing, but sometimes it's a good thing, because even though it's negative, it's keeping it in the light. Off-duty beauty, you're a PIO. I know a lot of PIOs. And thank you for what you do. One thing a lot of people don't know also, which, thank you. It's still service. Thank you. I deal with fire departments all the time also. But some entities, law enforcement, fire, etc., the PIOs are not always law enforcement or a fireman. They could be a civilian that does all the public information officer job. And that's not a bad thing. It is nice to be able to discuss all the factors in cases and what surrounds the case. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. actually officers, correct? For instance, this is a prime one. This is what I was told. Cal City Police Department does not have a PIO. I was told that Cal City is not used to doing press releases, not used to doing Nixons. So that's a prime example. You know? And that's very true. Every department is different. For instance, the sheriff's department, they have PIOs that are actually, that may be a deputy, a senior, a sergeant, or one of the PIOs may be a public service PIO. And PIOs don't always have a cushy job. I know that one, because a lot of PIOs take a lot of slack from the media, because the media pushes and pushes for information. And that's why when I spoke with Mr. Walker, I explained to him, hey, yes. And that is one of the other big things that it's a blessing for Cal City, is the fact that they now have a PIO handling it also to talk with the public. And just because there's a PIO in charge now does not mean you're just going to call there and get any information you want. Sad when we left, but I will be going back out to see him soon. Exactly. That's okay. That's okay. This statement is what I'm going to say will make sense also. I'm not going to say that Cal City was in over their heads. They just did not have the resources that other entities have in order to cover such a huge area. I mean, the square miles is huge. You know? Law enforcement and first responders have extremely hard jobs, okay? On top of them, you know, is counselors / psychiatrists, shrinks, whatever you want to call them. They have extremely hard jobs because they have to listen to everybody's problems every day. A lot of people, you know, think that doing the news is a cushy job. The news is not a cushy job. The news takes a toll on you. You see, doing the news, just as the fire department and law enforcement, any emergency response teams. Reporters see death daily. It can be anywhere from a 1-day-old child to a 104-year-old. You know, writing some of the stories that I've written, I've cried because it's truly tragic and sad. The cases that I really, really, really do not like are child abuse, child neglect, and elderly abuse and neglect, along with neglect of special needs. And Terry G, tomorrow I will be discussing a lot of information about my thoughts on Cal City, and I'm going to let everybody know that when I do the one in regards to Cal City, I'm going to drop my guard, and I'm not going to be speaking on behalf of our newspaper. I'm going to be speaking in regards to my personal thoughts and personal statements made to me in regards to Cal City and that event. And that's why the reason I'm going to do it that way is because a lot of it is personal to me. Y'all will understand when we do it why it's so personal. But the hatred that's been going on is one thing I'm going to be discussing. It's not going to be an easy one for me to discuss, but I will be discussing it, and I will be discussing it as Matthew Wallace, aka Minister Matthew Wallace, not as AV News Crew. I will just say this, that I think you guys are going to be very surprised to what the discussion brings out. And you guys are also going to be very disgusted with what some of it brings out. I know that's one reason I want to speak about it tomorrow. Because I am truly disgusted with a lot of stuff that happened and a lot of comments that were made. You know, I do. Off-duty beauty. We are going to start other channels because we have other things that we're in the process of doing also. We will be doing a channel for Mr. J.J. Jackson, the 90-year-old oldies musician, about his life, his autobiography. And we should be working with another individual that his son is 10 years old and can teach you all how to cook, how to be a chef, a 5-star chef at 10 years old. And then we also do run nonprofits along with scanner groups. Hatred really sucks. You know, and another thing that runs rampant through the United States is a thing called racism. And I think the best way to describe racism is racism equals ignorance, ignorance equals racism. And I think that's a true fact. Remember, racism equals ignorance, ignorance equals racism. I've been called a racist, which I don't know where I'm racist, but oh yeah, we actually have a couple individuals off duty that all they do is cover fires. One of the things I do also is I do cover fires. You know, I've been called a racist. Have you all seen my beautiful wife? And you've seen my beautiful grandkids? You can't tell by looking at my grandkids, okay? But one of my grandkids is part black. My children are part Spaniard and Jewish and Irish. Hello, with pain comes strength. How are you? You know, I was called a racist for a long time just because I used to shave my head. So, because I shaved my head and I was white, I was a skinhead. Does anybody know what the true skinheads would do to Jewish people? Oh, we're back. You know, we all bleed the same color. When you go to the hospital, when you go to the emergency room, when law enforcement shows up on scene, if you got a gunshot, if you've been stabbed, they don't ask you, hey, they don't sit there and wonder, should I treat him because he's black? Should I treat him because he's white? Wait, he's Jewish, should I treat him? No, that don't happen. Racism is taught. we don't know exactly what time we will be going live tomorrow, Terry. Apple is sleeping. I'm letting her sleep while we go, while we drive. You know, I had a TV show many, many years ago. So, anyways, you know, with rock and roll, heavy wasn't willing to put people in, so we shut down the show. But that's how the world operates. To be, it's what we make it. Oh, people definitely can be cruel. But folks, I'm going to say it right now because I know we're going to wind up cut off. We're going to wind up losing you because of where we're at. This is the area we lost everybody when we drove in. So I'm going to sign off because it's going to keep going in and out, in and out, in and out. And I just want to tell everybody, have a blessed day. Because we are the ones that make our day. Nobody else can make it for us. Live every day as it's your last. Because tomorrow is not promised. There is nothing in this world that says we will be here tomorrow. The only one that knows is God. And yes, he is my boss, but you know, I haven't found that direct line to find out what's going to happen, and that'll never happen, as you all know. You know, we do not know when our time is going to come. Only God knows. And that's the truth. But everybody, you can see we're going into a wider area where we're probably gonna lose service. Everybody say prayers for sharing. I know exactly how she feels. I go in soon as all my referrals are through. I go in for a CAT scan of the brain. I go in to have my heart checked and my lungs checked. And that is the end of this broadcast. Everybody have a blessed day. God bless you all. We'll be talking to you all soon. But I'm gonna lose everybody in here, and I don't want it to just be sitting here buffering. Everybody have a blessed day. God bless you all. We'll talk to you all soon.